Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something, and I want every man to hear me when I say this. When a man realizes he lost a real woman, oh, he don't just feel it, he lives it. See, a real woman, she ain't just somebody who smiles with you when the sun is out. Nah, she's the one who stayed when you had none. She believed in your dreams when you couldn't even see them yourself. She was your peace when the world was chaos. And that kind of woman, she don't come around often. A real woman is something the world doesn't give enough credit to. See, people hear the word love and they think flowers, kisses, date nights, and sweet words. But a real woman, she goes way beyond just love. She's not just giving affection, she's building, she's healing, she's holding it all together when everything's falling apart. Her love is deep, but her presence is powerful. A real woman doesn't just love you, she covers you. She protects your spirit when the world tries to break you. She sees what's in you, even when you don't. That's why losing her hits harder than anything else, because you didn't just lose a relationship. You lost a safe place, a partner, a queen who stood by your side when you didn't even have a crown on your head yet. She's peace in a storm. When you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when the noise outside is loud, she brings calm. She knows how to talk to you, how to look at you, how to just be there in a way that settles your spirit. You don't even have to say what's wrong. She can feel it, she knows. And that kind of peace, it's rare. Not everybody can give that to you. Some people bring more noise to your life, more pressure, more confusion, but not her. She's the one who grounds you. And when she leaves, that chaos comes back, that confusion returns. Suddenly you realize it wasn't the world that was easier, it was her who made it easier. Her loyalty is unmatched. She's not just loyal when things are good, she's loyal when you're at your lowest. When you're broke, when you're insecure, when you're doubting yourself, she doesn't flinch. She's not impressed by status or material. She's loyal to your soul. She's loyal to your potential, and she's consistent. That's the key. Because in a world full of temporary attention, she's steady, she's solid. While others are here for the moment, she was here for the mission. And when you lose that, you start noticing how fake everything else around you is. You realize nobody's checking on your heart like she did. Nobody's praying for you in private like she did. Nobody's riding for you like she did. And that reality stings. But it goes even deeper. She's vision. She's not just looking at who you are. She's invested in who you could be. She speaks life into you. She plants seeds in you. She reminds you of the man you were born to be. She challenges you to grow, to think bigger, to be better. And sometimes you push back. You don't like being challenged. You confuse her vision for criticism. You get defensive. But one day you realize she wasn't trying to change you. She was trying to elevate you because she saw what you couldn't. And when she's gone and no one's speaking life into you anymore, that silence becomes deafening. That vision you once took for granted suddenly becomes the thing you crave the most. Then there's her strength. And man, it's not just physical or emotional. It's spiritual. She carries weight you don't even see. She takes care of people without being asked. She sacrifices without complaining. She holds you up even when she's tired. Her strength is quiet, but it's powerful. And the crazy part, you don't even notice the full extent of it until she's no longer there doing all the things she used to do without needing praise. When she leaves, the whole foundation feels off. You start to realize how much of your life was held together by her love, her patience, her presence, her strength. A real woman is a rare blessing. She's not just love, she's a healer, a protector, a visionary, a force. And too many times, men don't recognize that until she's gone. Until they feel the absence of her peace. Until they face the world alone without her strength beside them. Until they look around and see how empty life feels without her energy in it. It's in that moment, when everything starts to feel hollow, that they finally understand they didn't just lose someone who loved them, they lost the woman who carried them in ways they never even understood. And that kind of loss, it hits harder than anything. Because it's not just about what she did, it's about who she was. A real woman, the kind you don't meet twice. Sometimes A man can be so caught up in himself, in his grind, in his pride, or even his ego, that he doesn't notice the quiet ways a woman is pouring into him. A real woman doesn't always show love loudly. She might not give you speeches or write you letters about how much she's sacrificing. She just does it. She supports you in the background. She listens to you vent. She reminds you who you are when you forget. She stands by your side even when you don't deserve it. She gives without asking for recognition. That's her nature. Nurturing, supportive, solid. And the truth is, that kind of consistency becomes invisible when it's always there. You get used to it. You start to expect it. And in that comfort, you start to take it for granted. That's where the shift begins. When her support becomes routine, a man might stop appreciating the depth of what she's doing. He starts overlooking the little things she used to do to lift his spirit. He doesn't notice when she prays for him at night, when she holds him down through tough times, when she puts his needs before her own. He hears her voice, but doesn't listen anymore. He assumes she'll always be there because she always has been. But here's the thing about a real woman. She will give you everything she has until she realizes you don't see it anymore. And when that moment comes, her voice starts to quiet down. Her energy shifts. She starts pulling back, not out of anger, but out of exhaustion, out of disappointment, out of self-respect. That silence is where everything changes, because silence from a woman who used to give you her all, that silence is loud, it's haunting. It doesn't yell, it doesn't cuss you out, it just is. Suddenly the calls stop, the texts get shorter. She stops asking how you're doing. She's no longer reminding you of your goals. She's not checking in to make sure you ate. That good morning text you got every day, gone. That support you didn't even realize you leaned on, gone. And when you look up and realize she's no longer holding you down the way she used to, that's when it hits you. That silence will shake you because it forces you to sit in your own thoughts. It leaves you with nothing but your own reflection. There's no more comfort in her presence, no more reassurance in her words, no more peace in her embrace. You feel the void, and it's bigger than you expected. You realize how much you needed her, not just for the things she did, but for who she was. You realize she was your calm in chaos, your anchor when everything felt unstable. And now that she's not there to remind you of your strength, you start feeling weak. You start wondering why the world feels heavier than it used to. That's what happens when a real woman removes her support. You feel the weight she used to carry for you without even telling you. And no, it's not because she stopped caring. It's because she finally had to start caring about herself. She gave, and at some point, she had to protect her own energy, because a real woman may be loyal, but she's not blind. She's not going to beg to be seen. She's not going to keep shouting her worth to someone who isn't listening. Her silence isn't revenge, it's revelation. It's the moment she chooses peace over persistence. And that silence becomes the loudest message she ever sent. That silence tells you everything her words tried to say when you weren't listening. And by the time you realize what her presence really meant, what her support really gave you, it's often too late. You can try to apologize, you can try to explain, but she's already healed past the point of wanting to come back. That's when the regret creeps in. That's when you replay the conversations you ignored. That's when you remember the way she smiled when she believed in you. That's when you miss her voice in the quiet, her comfort in the chaos, her love in the background. But now all you've got is that silence, the very silence that you created by not recognizing her value while you still had her. That silence becomes a mirror. And the hardest part, it never lies. When a real woman walks away, she doesn't slam the door. She doesn't make a dramatic exit. She leaves the same way she loved, quietly, with grace, with dignity. But make no mistake, her absence won't go unnoticed. It will be loud in ways you never imagined. See, when she was there, you may have gotten used to the way she moved in love. You got used to the consistency, the care, the effort. You saw it every day. You woke up to it. You depended on it. And over time, you may have started to think it was normal. But the love of a real woman, that's not normal. That's rare. And when that rare energy is no longer surrounding you, you feel it in every part of your life. She used to be the one who made sure you were good, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. She kept track of the small details. She knew when your mood was off, even if you hadn't said a word. She noticed when you were overwhelmed and reminded you to breathe. She celebrated your wins like they were her own. And when you lost, she didn't just comfort you, she stood in the fire with you. That presence, that unwavering loyalty, that ride or die spirit, it filled the room even when she said nothing. And because she made it look easy, you didn't always notice how deep her love really went. But when she's gone, the silence is different. You don't just miss her voice, you miss the energy. You miss the way the room felt when she was in it. You miss the way her laughter lit up the dullest days, the way her eyes looked at you like you were more than your mistakes. You start noticing that nobody checks in the way she did. Nobody asks how your day was and really listens. Nobody looks at you with hope in their eyes, believing in your potential even when you're at your lowest. And that's when it hits you. Her presence wasn't just comforting, it was transformational. It elevated you. And now without it, life feels smaller, colder, emptier. Her absence isn't just the lack of her physical body, it's the absence of the love she gave without condition. It's the silence after all the effort she used to put in. The text messages stop coming. The calls that used to check on you are gone. The support you leaned on even when you acted like you didn't need it is gone. That warmth you felt, that peace she brought, it disappears. And suddenly the days start to feel heavier. Not because life changed, but because she's no longer there softening the edges of it. People around you may not even realize what's missing. They might think nothing has changed, but you know when you go home and it's quiet, when you don't hear her voice telling you everything's going to be okay. You know when you have a good day and reach for your phone out of habit, wanting to share it with her, and she's not there. You know when you hit a low point and you realize the only person who used to pull you out of that darkness has moved on. That's when her absence screams louder than anything else in your life. And what's worse, that echo follows you. It's in the music that reminds you of her. It's in the scent that suddenly brings her to mind. It's in the habits you picked up from being around her. It's in the way you still catch yourself thinking about what she'd say or how she'd handle something. She may not be physically present, but her impact lingers like a shadow. And that's the thing about a real woman. She doesn't just exist in your life, she leaves a mark on your soul. Her absence becomes a reminder of what you had and didn't cherish, a reminder of how consistent she was, a reminder of how deep her love went. And that echo is not going away anytime soon. Because when someone loves you like that, when someone sees you and chooses to love you anyway, that's not something you forget. That's something that sticks with you, especially when you realize it's gone for good. And by the time you recognize that, she's probably already built peace for herself somewhere else. But her echo, it still lives where her love used to be. There's a different kind of pain that creeps in when a man sees the woman he once had, the one he thought would always be there, glowing and growing without him. It's a quiet pain at first, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that lingers. It shows up unexpectedly in a photo she posts, in a place he used to take her, in a song that brings her memory back. At first, he tells himself he's fine. He convinces himself that she moved on too fast, that maybe she never really cared. But deep down, there's a discomfort growing because what he's really seeing is the truth. She didn't fall apart without him. She rose. He sees her smiling again and not the half smile she used to force when things were falling apart. And this one is different. It's free, it's confident, it's light, and that's when it stings the most. because he remembers when she used to look at him that way. He remembers the night she cried beside him, the morning she stayed even when she was tired, the days she showed up for him when he didn't even ask. He remembers the way she gave her all even when he wasn't giving back. And now, the very woman who once made him the center of her world has made herself the center, and it's working. She's not just surviving, she's thriving. She's leveling up. She's glowing from the inside out. And every image, every update, every glimpse of her life now is a reminder of the love he once had and the love he lost. Not because she left, but because he didn't protect it. He didn't pour into her the way she poured into him. And now someone else might be enjoying the very best version of her, the version he helped shape with his mistakes, but doesn't get to experience. That kind of regret is heavy. It's the kind that settles in your chest and doesn't go away, because it's not about missing someone. It's about realizing you lost something that was real. You didn't just lose a person, you lost your peace, your partner, your biggest supporter. And now that you see her shining, you know she was never the problem. She didn't need to be fixed. She needed to be loved properly, fully, genuinely. But you didn't see it until you were standing on the outside looking in. And that's the moment everything shifts. That's when it hits you that the distance isn't just physical, it's emotional. You can't just call her like you used to. You can't send a quick "I miss you" and expect her to come back, because she's different now. She's not waiting for you to realize her worth. She's not hoping you'll change. She's not checking her phone for your name anymore. She already healed from what broke her. And now her focus is on herself, her growth, her peace. The regret doesn't just come from losing her. It comes from knowing you had every chance to love her right and didn't. You remember the way she begged for your attention, the way she tried to talk to you about what was missing, the way she stayed long after she should have left. And now, all you can do is remember while she's out there creating new memories without you. She's glowing differently now. Not because she found someone new, but because she found herself. And nothing hurts more than watching the person you took for granted become everything you ever wanted, just not for you. You had her heart, and you broke it. You had her loyalty, and you ignored it. You had her future in your hands, and you dropped it. Now, someone else might be holding the version of her you once prayed for. Regret doesn't announce itself loudly. It slips in during the quiet moments. It speaks when you're alone with your thoughts. It stares back at you when you scroll through old photos, when you revisit old texts, when you realize you were once her everything and now you're just a memory. That's the kind of pain you can't drink away, can't laugh off, can't cover up, because deep down you know the truth. She's not thriving to hurt you. She's thriving because she finally chose herself. And now that you see it, that's when the regret truly begins. There's something about a real woman that leaves a mark, not on your skin, but on your soul. And when she's gone, whether you admit it or not, the search begins. You start looking, you may not even realize it at first. You go out, you entertain new people, you try to move on, you laugh a little, you flirt a little, and maybe you even convince yourself you're over her. But deep down, every woman you meet is standing next to a ghost. The ghost of the one who knew you better than anyone else, the one who loved you past your flaws, the one who stayed when you gave her every reason not to. It creeps in slowly. A new woman says something and you catch yourself thinking, she wouldn't have said that. Another one doesn't react the way you're used to, and you remember how she would have known exactly what to say. You go out to eat and realize no one's ordering your food the way she used to without asking. No one's finishing your sentences. No one's noticing the little changes in your tone, in your mood, in your energy. And that's when it starts to hit you. What you had wasn't just love, it was understanding. It was connection. It was alignment. And now, no matter how many people you meet, no one quite measures up. You try not to compare, but you do. It's not about who looks better or who dresses nicer. It's about the feeling. It's about comfort. It's about home. And none of these new women feel like home. They feel like hotels, temporary stops that don't feed your soul. They might distract you, they might excite you for a moment, but when the night ends and the room gets quiet, you start to miss the one who made